Okay, so I have a question. What about road rules?
Excellent, Jamie. You're on the ball. Welcome to Road Rules for Motorbikes and Scooters.
Woo!
We'll also go through a few safety tips. All right, Jamie, on your bike, mate. Okay, first things first. Signs, crossings, and positioning. Stop, one way, no entry. This also applies to parking signs. And also remember, you cannot overtake on a solid white line. Now, traffic lights. When approaching traffic lights, prepare to stop when the traffic light turns amber. Do not attempt to race across the junction. Red means stop. Pedestrian crossings. When approaching pedestrian crossings, slow down. If pedestrians are using the crossing, stop and let them cross. Remember, when turning into a road, a pedestrian that is already on the road has the right of way.
Only in Victoria are you allowed to park your scooter on the footpath.
When parking, be mindful that you can't be in the way or block the path of pedestrians, delivery vehicles, public transport users, or parked cars. Okay, now let's talk about hazard awareness. This check is called a lifesaver because it saves lives. What is it? It's checking your mirrors and blind spots before you change your speed or position and when moving off a green light. This will allow you to know what's behind you and react accordingly. Avoid conflict areas, such as being alongside another vehicle on a roundabout. You cannot control the situation from alongside if other vehicles change lanes on you. Alrighty, Jamie, let's move on to positioning. I must say, your driving has been on point so far. Where you position yourself in the road is important. Keep to the left-hand lane where possible, unless you are attempting to turn right. It is safer to stay away from the curb to help you avoid debris and potholes and help prevent cars from overtaking too close to you. When passing parked vehicles, leave plenty of room to avoid being hit by a door suddenly opening. Next, we have intersections and roundabouts.
My favourite.
Jamie, this is important. Busy junctions can be especially dangerous to inexperienced riders. Be especially careful with large vehicles like buses and trucks. Watch their indicators and wheels to help anticipate when they are going to turn. Jamie, something really important. Do not attempt to pass large vehicles on the inside if they are turning left. Be safe and wait for them to go. Remember, all vehicles have blind spots, so try and communicate with the driver by making eye contact or through your mirrors, and make sure they can see you. Okay, Jamie, now pay attention. A lot of motorbike accidents occur whilst turning, often because you're going too fast or you brake halfway through and fall off. Before turning at an intersection, ensure you do a lifesaver check. Look around you for any hazards and signal before attempting to turn. Complete any braking and gear changes before turning and brake in a straight line for stability. Take extra care when turning right. Plan your turn well in advance. Check your mirrors and look over your right shoulder. Then move towards the right of the lane if the traffic is moving, signalling clearly before doing so. Ensure there is no oncoming traffic before completing your turn. Okay, now turning left. Be aware of vehicles turning left in front of you. Slow down and wait your turn. You want to avoid getting on the inside of the queue, as this puts you at risk of being squished. Don't forget to check your mirrors, look over your right shoulder and indicate. Also, look out for cyclists. Now, Jamie, regarding lane filtering or lane splitting, there's a few things you really need to know. Firstly, you can't filter in the bicycle lane, nor can you filter on the left-hand side if it's just the curb. If there are parked cars, that's okay. Also, you can't lane filter on the far right side because you could be hit by oncoming traffic. Travel at an appropriate speed to give you time and space to react.
Got it.
When it comes to overtaking, make sure you have space to come back into the traffic line safely. Also, watch out for other vehicles as they may not see you when you're overtaking. Never overtake near side roads as other vehicles may emerge. It's also important to keep in mind that you're sharing the road with cyclists. Be patient and keep your distance from bike riders, at least 1 metre and at least 1.5 metres if you're travelling over 60 kilometres an hour. Check behind you before dismounting, use your mirrors and do a lifesaver check. Give way to bike riders in bicycle lanes if you are turning into their lane. Indicate when pulling out, changing lanes or turning, so bike riders know your intentions. Take care when approaching trams. There's a few things to remember. You cannot overtake on the right. If you see the tram's lights flashing and it's slowing down, don't overtake. Once the doors are open, you cannot pass. Make sure to stop at the back of the tram, otherwise you can get a fine. When the doors are closed, you can keep riding. It's recommended that riders cross tram lines and level crossings at a 90-degree angle. Motorbikes can only do a hook turn when there is a hook turn sign.
If you need to turn right at an intersection with a hook turn, make sure you follow the signs. Get to the front of the intersection if traffic is stationary and do a head check over your left and right shoulder. When traffic is moving, ride towards and then wait at the left-hand side hook turn waiting box. When the traffic light in the direction you want to go turns green, turn right and continue along the road. This completes the hook turn.
Remember to follow the lights in the direction of the road. Lastly, roundabouts. When approaching a roundabout, position yourself in the middle of your lane. Look behind over your right shoulder to check for other vehicles and give a clear signal in the direction you're going. Slow down and be prepared to stop if necessary. A good tip: select a gear that will allow you to enter the roundabout quickly.
This is great. I'm riding and learning.
A few tips to remember. Be visible. Assume vehicles haven't seen you and anticipate their actions accordingly. Ride with caution. Allow a 2-second gap between you and the vehicle in front of you, and a 4-second gap if it's wet. Use lifesavers. Know what's behind you. Brake smoothly and progressively at all times. Heavy braking can lock the wheels. Plan ahead. Change your gears before you turn corners or overtake. And finally, ride safe.